Usually we try to get some car stuff in, some fabrication stuff in, but this guy's got to get done. It has an appointment at Trail Hero this year to be one of yours. Well, hello again. We're back out in the shop. This is what happens whenever you have too small of a shop and too big of toys. We're gonna have to open the shop up, kick the buggy out, and get room made for the barbecue. We got some work to get done. We ended up playing buggy the last time we were out of the shop and not working on this thing, and deadlines are coming fast. So we're gonna get this thing out of here and we'll be right back with you. All right, let's get this guy moved back over where it goes. There we go, I think we can work on it over here. Back at this guy here, I'm gonna work on getting the grate dialed in and ready for the actuators. Got the grate pretty much welded up. Need to do some finish grinding on there. Not quite as smooth as we'd like, but hey, we'll be okay. All right, let's get some cameras set up and get to work. All right, so what we're trying to figure out here is if we have approximately 30 inches of chain to wind up around a spool, how far is half of that away? The reason being that we need to know how far down my crank bar is going to be on my upright to make sure that our chain clears whenever we crank this thing up to the top and don't run into the top piece. So we're gonna measure half of this, and that's going to take approximately 2 inches. So if we give it 2 1/4 inches, we'll be good. So with that in mind, we're gonna take tape measures over here, soapstone, and we're gonna mark this out. All right, so let's try to drill a hole in this, see how this works. This is a pretty stout piece of material. I think I probably should put a pair of safety glasses on. One of these days you guys are gonna get a whole video of me just wandering around the shop looking for stuff. Because believe it or not, nah, you guys believe it, I spend almost as much time looking for my crap as I do working on it. Oof, that's hard. It's a good thing I put safety glasses on. It starts bouncing off my noggin over here. Hot, 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 burning hot. 440. So we need to go up one more. How far over are we? Only 20 thousandths. Well, I'll take that. Let's go over here and do this one. Okay. So there you see, our 1/2 inch coil roll is stuck through there, and when we turn it, that'll be the motivation for our grill. We're gonna have to figure something cool out here for a crank, because we can't just have a normal crank. That would just be boring. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with that. But for right now, that's on there. We need a cool attachment point for our grill. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Anybody name that song? It's the theme from Donkey Kong, the video game. Let us think. Decided to punt. We're gonna go ahead and make the stanchion piece that goes in right here. We got our angledy-dangledies marked out over here. We're gonna set up our saw and get those cut, get those axle pieces or those axle stabilizer pieces in. That way we're making forward progress while I'm thinking, because right now my brain is not participating. A lot different to show. We just flip this guy around. You can see that guy's cut at the angle already. This side's getting cut off over here. Then we will put her in there and everything will be strong and happy. We're on to that. That piece should be dialed in here shortly. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna sit down here in all these grinding shavings, and yes, you are correct. It does have a hole in it right there. That's because we salvaged another piece of tubing that we had jacked up whenever we did this one. If we put that guy in there, doggone, we're close. I think we're gonna be good enough. I'm gonna stick that guy in there. I'll put some weld in that little spot for you guys. It's a pretty good fit up. I think we can live with that. We'll fill in that there hole with some weld. Just trying not to waste a bunch of material. Steel's expensive these days. All right, so we'll do some measuring, make sure we're all good, and then we'll roll the welder out and put some zap on this thing. Oh, I say we're close enough. Anybody else catch the fact that I just about flipped my head to put my helmet down with no helmet on? Let's see how this works. That was interesting. I recorded that whole thing in time lapse, so you'll get to see that in super speed. Got this collar back on where it's supposed to be, our offset of our tire. Okay, here we're gonna have to cut this guy off, which we know it's just gonna be an ankle biter for right now. We will have to pull this tire back off and get that. I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and weld in this shaft on the inside here for right now. That way our axle can't move this way at all. And then we can, when we pull the tires off of it a little bit later, we can come in on the inside right in here and put a weld on both sides on the outside there. That'll make this axle shaft really solid. We don't have to worry about it going anywhere, and it will keep our track where we want it. Here we go. Hats off, jackets on. We are gonna put some weld down on the inside of this here axle shaft. Make her permanent. All right, she is pinned in there. That ain't going nowhere now. Axle is committed. Look at that tail. Get us a hat back on. One less piece of the puzzle laying on the floor. I still got to figure out this grate lift. I hate to say it, but we might abandon the chain and go to cable just to make our life easier, but man, that's got to be a bummer. There's got to be a way to get there from here. I'm gonna have to do some thinking. We just need something awesome. Trying to rattle the marbles around in my head to get something good to come up with. Oh, so that we can attach that. Got an okay idea, just don't know if it'll work for what we need, and then it's a little bit scary. All right, a little more progress. We're gonna be out here several nights this week, I think. Usually we try to get some car stuff in, some fabrication stuff in, but this guy's gotta get done. It has an appointment at Trail Hero this year to be one of yours. So, should be a raffle prize. Heard from Rich, raffle prizes this year are benefiting Racing Anxiety. Go check them out. Pretty cool group of guys at Racing Anxiety. So, we're gonna get out of here for tonight. We'll see you in a bit.